The office lights had long gone out in the city, but in the glass mansion atop the hill, one lamp still burned, its glow falling over a lonely man buried beneath paperwork. Alexander Reed, 38, billionaire CEO of Reed Enterprises, was used to silence. He had built an empire from scratch, but somewhere along the way he'd traded laughter for numbers and warmth for walls. He hadn't celebrated his birthday in 10 years, not since his parents' death in a plane crash, the same day he took over the company. Every year his assistant would remind him. Every year he'd say the same thing, "It's just another day." But that night was different. When he came home late, exhausted and cold from the October rain, a small hand-drawn card sat neatly on his marble dining table. The handwriting was uneven. The paper was cheap-folded from the corner of a grocery receipt. A tiny red heart was drawn in the corner. It read, "Happy birthday, Mr. Reed. I know I'm just the nanny, but I hope you know that people care about you. You've given me a job when I needed it most, and I'll always be grateful. I baked a small cake for you. Please eat it before it gets cold, Clara." For a moment, Alexander just stared at it. He couldn't remember the last time someone had wished him happy birthday, not even his board members, not his assistant, not anyone. He turned toward the counter, where a small, uneven chocolate cake sat on a chipped plate. It was lopsided, messy, but it smelled like home. He hesitated, then took a forkful. The taste wasn't perfect. It was too sweet, too dense, but something inside him broke. He didn't realize his vision had blurred until a tear fell onto the table beside the card. Clara Hill, 24, had been working as a live-in nanny for Alexander's 6-year-old niece, Lily, for the past year. She had come from nothing, a girl from a small town who had lost her parents and dropped out of college to care for her younger siblings. The job had saved her from homelessness. But she had always known her place. She was the help, invisible, replaceable. That night, she had slipped the birthday card onto the table quietly, thinking he'd never even see it. She didn't expect a reply, let alone that it would change everything. The next morning, she came downstairs early, tying her hair into a messy bun and starting breakfast for Lily. When she turned, she froze. Alexander was standing by the counter, still in his suit from the night before, holding the empty cake plate. His eyes were softer than usual. "You made this?" he asked. Clara nodded nervously. "Yes, sir. I'm sorry if it wasn't very good." He chuckled, a sound that startled her. "It was better than anything I've had in years." He paused. "Thank you, Clara." For the first time, she saw the man behind the name, the one who carried too much loneliness for one lifetime. Days passed, and something began to shift in the mansion. Alexander started coming home earlier. He joined Lily and Clara for dinner instead of locking himself in his study. Sometimes he'd even laugh when Lily made her silly jokes. He'd ask Clara about her life, where she grew up, what her dreams were. She told him she once wanted to be a teacher, but had to quit college when her father fell sick. He listened quietly, eyes full of something she couldn't read. Regret, maybe. One rainy evening, Alexander found Clara in the kitchen, struggling with bills spread across the counter. He noticed how her hands trembled, how she bit her lip as she counted and recounted the same numbers. "Is everything all right?" he asked. She startled. "Oh, yes, sir. Just trying to figure things out. My brother's college fees are due." He didn't press further. But that night, he made a call. The next week, Clara received a letter. Scholarship had been granted to her brother, fully funded by the Reed Foundation. She ran to Alexander's office, her voice trembling. Did you do this?" He looked up, pretending to be busy. "The foundation helps where it can." Tears filled her eyes. "You didn't have to." "I wanted to," he interrupted gently. "You reminded me what kindness looks like, Clara. I'd forgotten." Months passed, and the mansion felt alive again. There were flowers on the dining table, music playing softly, and laughter echoing through the halls. Lily adored Clara. Alexander began smiling more, even attending Lily's school events, something he had never done before. On Christmas Eve, Clara stood by the window, watching snow fall over the garden. She felt at peace for the first time in years. Then, she heard Alexander's voice behind her. "Do you remember the card you left me?" She smiled shyly. "Didn't think you'd ever see it." "I did, and I've kept it." He took something from his pocket, the same folded paper, now carefully laminated. That card reminded me that I'm still human, that maybe I don't have to be alone. Her breath caught. He hesitated before adding softly, Clara, would you stay? Not as a nanny, but as someone I'd like to share my life with. Tears welled in her eyes. Mr. Reed, he smiled faintly. Call me Alexander. Years later, people would talk about how the cold, unreachable CEO changed overnight, how he started funding scholarships, building homes, and creating opportunities for people like Clara. But only he knew what had truly changed him, a simple birthday card, left on a table by a kind-hearted nanny who believed even the loneliest souls deserved love. Moral message? Sometimes the smallest act of kindness can heal a heart that power and wealth never could. One simple gesture can awaken humanity in even the loneliest of souls.